Losing your job feels like the floor drops out from under you. Bills don't stop, kids still need you, and suddenly fear is running the show. But here's the truth that most people never hear. Losing your job is not a financial emergency if you plan for it. I know because I lost my job, like thousands of other tech employees over the last couple of years, and I didn't panic. I didn't immediately update my resume. I didn't swipe credit cards to cover bills. I didn't accept the first job offer out of fear. Instead, I took the summer off with my kids for the first time ever, and that really changed me. And none of it happened by accident. Most families today are living paycheck to paycheck. So when income disappears, that panic sets in, and it sets in fast. People stay stuck in jobs they hate, not because they want to, but because they need that paycheck. And they're operating in a fear-based model, constantly worried. What if I lose this job? And honestly, that fear is really exhausting, but it's optional. For 15 years, my husband and I both worked full-time while raising our 2 kids, and we made one simple rule: to live below our income, to save and invest the rest, minimal lifestyle creep, even with kids. It didn't mean don't have fun, it just meant being intentional about what we actually spend on. And we chose to live a mile from the beach in Southern California, so the cost of living is not cheap by any means. But that was a choice, and it just meant that we needed to be really intentional in order to live below our income in a high cost of living area. And that one decision shaped everything that came next because we controlled our lifestyle. We were able to pay off $140,000 in our combined student loans, max out our retirement accounts, build an investment portfolio. And over time, those investments began growing 5 and then 6 figures per year passively. And that's when things really started to shift, because that's when money starts working for you and your job stops being the only thing that is holding your life together. So number one lesson is that lifestyle creep is the real trap. And here's what most households do. They earn more, so they spend more. The bigger house, the newer car, more subscriptions, more commitments. Lifestyle creep actually feels normal. Everyone around you is upgrading, so you do too. But what you're really doing is locking yourself into needing your paycheck forever. Freedom disappears quietly. Enjoying life does not require spending every single raise. It actually requires keeping your fixed costs low enough so that you have margin. And every dollar that you don't lock into lifestyle upgrades, it buys you options later. Lesson 2, debt versus investments. So debt limits your choices. Monthly payments are following you everywhere, where investments do the opposite. They create options. Most people carry debt for decades and invest, when they can. And we flipped that script. We attacked debt aggressively and we invested consistently. And that's how money starts compounding quietly in the background until one day it is loud enough to change your life. And the third lesson is what an emergency fund really buys you. So when I lost my job, what I gained was time. This is time to breathe, time to think, time to reassess what kind of life we actually wanted. Most people never get that space. They jump into the next job out of fear, not with clarity. Wealth is not about cars or status, it's about options. And an emergency fund paired with controlled spending and investing is what turns a layoff or a job loss into breathing room instead of a crisis. I drive a 10-year-old car, but I traded that nice car for financial peace of mind and freedom. I gained the freedom to drop the after-school childcare programs and pick up my kids after school when it ends, not at 5 or 6 in the evening when we're off work. And I'm very happy about that trade. That was good for me. For me, the freedom is far more valuable than all of those upgrades. So if you lost your job tomorrow, would you have options or would you have pressure? Because your financial decisions today are already deciding that answer. And this isn't about bragging, it's about choices. The car you buy, the house you choose, the raises you spend or save, every dollar you keep buys you time later. Time to think, time to pivot, time with your family. So plan for freedom, not fear. This time off from working full-time helped me see 2 things. One is a greater presence in my kids' lives is actually very important to me. Volunteering in classrooms, picking them up when they're off school and having that afternoon with them, getting them involved in piano lessons and sports that they would otherwise be missing out on while we're both working. The second thing I realized is that because this was so profound and life-changing for me, I want to help women build the same options for themselves and have the same kind of freedom of choices in their own lives. So I now run a community for women that are paying off debt and saving their first $100,000 because that is the hardest part to save in the financial journey. If you're ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck, I invite you to join my $100,000 savings challenge on School. The link is in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and I'll see you in next week's video.